That's James's dinner for today. So I use some of these almond medley things on the top and some black grapes, and that's a raspberry sort of cake, and it's really good. You can see mine. I didn't put very much in the way of fruit. I have 4 grapes and whatever, but we'll see how that goes. So Douglas Coupland, everywhere is anywhere, is anything is everything. And I really like how this book is put together. It's I'll probably show a little bit of it if I can, and you can see James has switched to something a little more interesting. He's been reading the Dune series. So anyway,
I'll be reading something like a series from Douglas Adams. Not everything he's written, but I've read 3 of his books, and I finally decided that what I'm going to do is read a little bit of this, then read a little bit of this, and then go back to Dune. I just started
just to
doing
keep it
it.
Interesting, eh? To be
Well,
able to
you
get
see,
through
then
it.
I start reading Dune, and I start laughing at it, because Douglas Adams is a humorist. He worked on Doctor Who, and I don't know if there's that much humor in Doctor Who, but Douglas Adams is in. Eventually I'm leading up to doing a review of a friend's sci-fi book, and I decided I was going to read Douglas Adams, because I can remember when Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which was, I think, his first successful book, Douglas Adams' successful book, my friend was so excited. I guess he'd heard of Douglas Adams, so my friend read Doctor Who, so this dates back to the 70s.
Well, yeah, Douglas Adams is a lot more entertaining.
Yeah, but you see, the entertainment spreads here, because then this reads humorously.
Okay.
Then once it starts reading seriously, I'll
go back to that.
It only
Good.
lasts a couple
That
of
might
pages.
work.
Well, it's
James is
working
trying
so
to
far.
get through the Dune series
Yeah.
this past while, and he has another 20 days, and then it has to go back because it's
Holy
been
smokes!
renewed the full.
Yeah, this is going to have
It's
to
the
work,
third time.
because
Yeah.
otherwise it's taken me many more than 20 days to get a little over halfway through maybe the series, maybe not even that.
And frankly, I gave up on it. So
Frankly, Herbert, she gave up on it. Yeah. Yep.
my angels told me to read it yesterday, and I'm like, no. No,
That's
I'm
why
not
you're feeling
gonna do
ill.
it.
She's got
Yeah, I
headache,
think that's
yeah.
why I got the migraine, just
Yeah,
to get
it's
out
just-
of reading it.
Anyway, she was saying yesterday or something like that she'd got through 50 pages. How many more pages did you get through? A couple?
No, I didn't do any. I set it down, and then I went to the library and I picked up my Douglas Coupland books that were on hold. So I put a bunch of them on hold, so they'll keep coming in. And there are a bunch at the library, this public library, that I could get that are non-fiction ones. But frankly, I hadn't even realized that Douglas Coupland did art or anything like that when maybe he didn't do it. Maybe he wasn't known for it back when
Yeah. But you found out about it quite a while ago.
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Quite a while.
I know, I'd forgotten about it.
Yeah.
But then this is the first book that came in.
Yeah.
And so Pauline said, let's look at it
Well,
together.
it was the art book, and honestly,
then
I was
I-
already coming down with a migraine while I was opening that, and I was thinking, well, I can't read, but I can look at pictures. And I mean, there's some write-up in there and whatever, but
There is, and I read some of it. And I actually helped put Pauline to sleep for a few seconds.
yeah, that was nice.
Well,
But it's too bad it didn't last. So I was up most of the night, just not up, just awake, unfortunately. But then...
so often when you're ill, it's hard to go to sleep.
Yeah. So, this morning I'm feeling hungry, but I don't feel like eating anything. I even looked at some Triscuits, and I'm like, too much flavor. And I have all this wonderful fruit that you can see here. And I'm like, James, you're probably going to have to eat all the fruit because it'll spoil, and I can't eat it right now. But I'm going to try to eat, because my favorite fruit, black grapes. I love black grapes. I could eat that much in a sitting normally, but I can't right now. I don't even know if I'll be able to eat those. But what I had a craving for was strawberry yogurt, and I thought, I don't know if I could even eat strawberry yogurt. But then I thought, I don't have any strawberry yogurt, but I do have this cake in the basement that we've been saving. I was saving it for, like, when we got done a big hike, we could reward ourselves with a piece of cake. And then it just turned out we didn't get a lot of big hikes done this year.
Tomato growing season.
And
Or harvest
you're
season.
right. It was the Victory Garden, and we did a lot of Victory Garden, a lot of work into that, and didn't get the hike. So
A lot of exercise though, especially for bowling.
So,
A lot of it was like, I'm afraid.
and I
only
certainly
basic
don't
trading
feel
on
like
the-
eating tomatoes today.
No.
So that's not going to happen. But we'll see if I can eat some cake. So I cut this big piece of cake for myself, thinking, oh yes, we'll see if that'll. I don't know if I'll be able to eat any of it. We'll see. But if I can eat the fruit, I'm going to try to eat the fruit with the cake, and then if I could do that, that'll be great. Anyway, I don't know. It's nice to have warm sun, isn't it? Isn't that nice when you close your eyes and it's all this wonderful orange color? It's so nice, isn't it? You look at the sun through your closed eyelids. And
I guess it is
nice
orange.
and
I always
warm
think of it as
orange.
being yellow, but
it's wonderful. Well,
feels
it's
like
your
orange.
eyelids or add the orange to it, right? It's a beautiful, happy color, isn't it? That orange with your eyes closed, warmed in the sun.
yeah.
But this morning, James, I said this morning, but it's actually afternoon right now, I think.
Just
this
barely,
morning, James got here early, and
Early to
I was like, oh, you probably want to go for a walk, and I thought maybe I could do it, and I was trying to, one eye was closed, I was squinting with the other one. I was like, it's so bright, and the brightness hurts, so I don't know. But now I'm feeling quite a lot better. It still hurts a bit, but it's not bad. And the sun, actually, the warmth of it feels kind of nice, because I get when I get a migraine, my hands and my feet, and they get ice cold. They just I don't know why, but so then this part gets really hot, but these get so cold, and so I end up shivering a lot. Anyway, we're going to talk about Coupland as an artist today. And I guess I'll get up and show you a little bit. You can see the cover there.
You want me to do it?
You enjoy. You may as well enjoy the sun and the fruit anyway. But you can see how this is lovely yellow. What a lovely color, to open up to. And it starts out with a few things. Like, I'll show you this one. We've never been smarter. We've never felt stupider. And James and I say it's the other way around.
People think they're smart
because they have a smartphone. They can access the information really quickly. But it's not their information.
And
they haven't worked to know it, and
accesses information instantaneously
when it's your information,
and it can access it while you're sleeping.
Yes, which is much more important. So that's when you're going to come up with really anything that matters is while you're sleeping, and you do that by teaching your brain while you're awake. So I don't mind this too much.
Done in comic book style.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. But there's a lot of things that are collections, and this one kind of amused me here because you can see the pink and blue and yellow toilet paper rolls at the bottom there. And I remember my grandma would get colored toilet paper rolls. I think either pink or purple. But and then there's some of these little colorful rainbow things. So you can see these tower. They're cones, big tall cones, and that's what that's.
I think Freud
representing.
might have a
Yeah.
field day with.
Well, especially
many of
when he refers to some of his towers as self-portraits, right?
This is true.
Yeah. So anyway, I just
I
showed
think
a
he
little
might
bit,
have
and I
a-
think that's enough to show. But I think the book is worth reading or going through. Anyway, it features not only Douglas Coupland's art. I mean, it's Douglas Coupland's art, but he shows what inspired him a lot of the time.
I think that's the best way of putting it.
Yeah. So there's some art from other people that, like, inspirational pieces.
Generally his predecessors. Coupland's Canadian, so the group of seven he used as a jumping off point for some of his art. A fair amount of it. When I say jumping off point, it's more like jumping down point. I don't think he really improved on the originals. And frankly, the originals weren't that inspired to begin with.
So, anyway, I thank Pincher Creek Municipal Library for loaning this book to us so that we
Amazing.
could go through it.
We have to go to Pincher Creek.
I thought that the word cloud was kind of interesting.
Well, the weird thing is, this guy's better when it comes to words than he is with art.
Oh, far. Yeah. My favorite book of his was Hey Nostradamus. So if you want to start reading Coupland, I'd suggest you start there, even though Generation X was the
Big seller.
that gave him his name. And anyway, as a book, this is very nicely put together. The binding, everything is really beautiful. And I do like, like this welcome to Detroit. The entire world is now Detroit. And it's not in Detroit. You can see that it's there's mountains in the background.
Well,
and
that's
stuff, right?
Denver, a panoramic view of Denver.
So that's cute.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is the whole world isn't. I mean, there's a lot of the things that he says. He has these. In the future, we'll all be shopping from jail. And it starts that way and it ends that way, and I like that. I like the way that the book is set up.
Yeah. But I don't like that because generally people will do all sorts of stuff. They're not in jail. Even Martha Stewart, a criminal, or Donald Trump, convicted felon, they're not in jail.
Yeah.
Stunning.
But it's interesting to think that way because a lot of the James and I have talked about that. The push towards freedom for criminals has just made it so that the workers are imprisoned. They have to imprison themselves. They get to hold their key, to lock themselves into their cells.
And their
for
guards
safety.
are criminals. They're the ones who are punishing
So
the people who pay for the jails that aren't being used properly.
So I would say we're already there.
I want to stress that this is
People are shopping, on the internet and whatever. They're shopping from eBay while they're in their prison cells. That they hold the key for, but it's their prison cells nonetheless. They have to lock themselves in for safety because the criminals are out.
So it's neither a right wing or a left wing issue. Some of the worst criminals, like Donald Trump, are they're right wingers.
Now, I will say that I think both James and I, we both enjoyed this Pepsi Cola hutch the most out of the artwork. I like that quite a lot.
Yeah, well, it's French Canadian, and you know French Canadians might not like it that much because, like Quebec, French people aren't just called frogs; they're called Pepsis, I guess, in Canada.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mentioned it to you last week. I don't think you were in.
I'm not in
You
learning
weren't
mode.
registering.
But
So, yeah.
I also like this hutch that's made out of tsunami garbage. That's great. James didn't like that one. He preferred the caution one. And then on the next page, I think it was, you get to know where the caution came from. And this is...
I don't think it's made up, folks.
I don't think it's made up either.
Refugee crossing.
Yeah, in California. So what an interesting thing to make a sign out of, right? So this is free trade hutch, and it's a refugee crossing sign. So I thought that was funny. James liked that one a lot. He liked this one a lot too. But
you had to be there, like as an adult. Pauline went through this area when she was a youngster in Nipigon, Thunder Bay, Dryden. I thought the world had ended when we started going east of Dryden. The trees were getting smaller and smaller and more spread out. It was like boreal forest.
yeah,
and
it's
I
interesting.
wondered what
how,
happened to people. Where no towns.
like here in Alberta, it goes up a long time before you hit really cold stuff, right?
Well,
But
really,
down
we went
in the middle there, Canada, the cold comes quickly. You know, you have really warm, and it just changes so quickly. So it's interesting.
So when you go through this area, like along Dryden, between Dryden and Thunder Bay is on Lake Superior. Lake Superior borders
James
on
thinks
the
that
United
must be
States.
Terry Fox's leg here.
Yeah, I think it's in this general area. Had to pull the plug on his venture to limp across Canada.
Yeah. So
Wawa
anyway,
is there.
I think this is the best of his collections, the Tsunami Chest,
Yeah.
because it's actually, it's kind of like poetry. James says people should learn to write poetry using the forms that other people have set up, and using a regular rhyme and rhythm pattern, because it keeps them from sprawling all over the place. It makes them make the most of their words in a short amount of space, right? And I think that's here. He has a hutch. It can only go so far, and so it's contained his collection better than I think the shelves and stuff do. So he has some other things here.
Of course. Those can just go
Where
on and
are the
on.
shelves and stuff?
Well, you got a shelf right there.
Oh, I do. Good. But yeah, a
You
shelf
open
can
right
go
up
on
to
and
it,
on.
folks. That's amazing.
And I do like the sofas and stuff, although I don't know, I was talking about, there's a
This
different
on this
angle
end?
of, there's a different angle of it, and you can see that this part here is very narrow of the sofa, and I was like, well, who in the world could fit there? And James is like, well, maybe a baby. And then he thought, oh, a dog. So
Well, I thought better than I think it's
be
a cat for a cat.
Oh, a cat. Yeah, a cat would fit there. That's right. Because dogs like to cuddle right up with you, but a cat probably wouldn't care. So they
Cats
might
kind
like
of
their own
sitting
space.
on your lap. But, I'll show something that tends to sprawl. Try to find it. You
Yeah.
keep talking.
I don't like the sprawling stuff.
Well,
And I will say that really, as far as an artist, a visual artist, Douglas Coupland is more of a photocopier. His stuff isn't terribly original, and nothing that he's done is better than anything that inspired him. So,
he's better than Andy Warhol.
no, I don't think so.
Okay.
Not in what he was doing that inspired him to do whatever.
Okay.
And I don't care for
We'll
Andy
agree to
Warhol,
differ
but-
on that. But here's a collection. It's This one is limited by the shelf, but
And then there's one that's a pile of garbage.
yeah.
And, anyway.
I think that was limited by the
So
room.
I do like collections, but I don't know that they're art on their own, honestly. I mean, artists do have collections. All artists, they do it. I don't know what it is, but we'll put different things together, you know, rocks and feathers and whatever, and that'll be like I have James thought it was really cute when he came over to my house and there were little army men fighting in the plant pots and stuff like that. I have a whole battle
The little
set up with
plastic
the
army men that were so popular when I was a kid.
My alley, you may have noticed watching our videos that it's very busy. And so I had cars, the little, what do you call Hot Wheels, lined up along the windowsill so that they were driving along the alley, you know. So I don't know. We do that. But James got done this and he thought, he said, he looked at my art and he realized it's so much better than this.
So honest to God, this is...
And it is.
Sometimes
and I'm not.
Your body will give you a critical opinion.
Artist.
See, this gives me a critical opinion going back and forth, way better, Douglas Adams, than Frank Herbert. So we went through all of this, the whole thing, looked at every picture. At least I did. Pauline browsed, but only for a short while. I had
already looked at it before I had it over.
Okay.
So
anyway, got up. There's lots of white in here. You know, see. And I got up and I just looked into the corner of Pauline's room and I saw this nice mixture of colors and what do you call that piece with the rocks that are kind of hollow with crystals inside? You know which one I'm talking about.
Oh, that was just one I did while I was taking that art class. And it looked like crap until I stuck it in the frame, and I'm like, yeah, it looks good now.
And I'm going, wow, that's a relief to the eye. It was better than anything I saw in his papers. Better in terms of balancing colors and stuff like that, in terms of composition. I mean, there are things in here that are kind of cute and so on and so forth, but this guy's an ideas guy more than, wouldn't that be a great idea? Like this is the suburbia thing.
Yeah, well, I do like that.
It's nice, cute. But it's Lego suburbia.
Yeah, and where it's all the same.
But this guy's more in some ways a conceptual artist. Earth Kebab, though again, Freud would have a wonderful time with this, but you know, like I'd be more impressed if he'd made it so that it was progressively more developed. But this is a undeveloped view of the Earth. I think this is one of the planets of one of the moons of one of our planets. So I think it's kind of suggesting we're heading towards disaster. But yeah, it's just he didn't do it very well.
Yeah.
Too bad. I mean,
but I don't know. I mean, I do
enjoy
here, seeing his stuff.
Lots of tires.
I don't know that he's terribly talented that way, but I don't think he spends a lot of time doing art. None of these would take a lot of time. No,
I think he thinks things, you know, like, okay, how about if I do this?
But his ideas that we all think alike and whatever, no, we don't.
Yeah, well, people are thinking so unlike each other. Lots of people are whacking each other, and unfortunately, they'll be whacking people in the middle, as what happened in Germany and the Soviet Union in the 1930s. They were whacking people in the middle. It's
But yeah, I do like that he included other people's artwork. I get, I figure he probably did that to validate himself as an artist, and say, well, look, they did this, and I'm doing something similar, and whatever. But
So
it made him look like he was inspired by them. He liked their artwork, but he really couldn't do anything better. So
I don't think so. Here's a study in entropy. Like looks a bit like the city dump,
yeah.
except it's missing seagulls, and you don't get the smell. Hopefully.
Yep. All right. Well, you have 3 minutes. Talk about what you want.
I don't know. We'll just.
I guess
I'll
I
just
didn't make it
finish.
through the cake or the fruit. I feel bad because I really wanted to eat something, but
It's
at least I got out and
folks. If you ever go through stem cell therapy or chemotherapy or something like that, get ready. Your taste buds are going to be different, and stuff that you figure is going to be edible, like fruit, not so much veggies, but fruit, will just turn your stomach. So get ready. There was one thing, this is one thing that was really good, where he had people putting gum, I think it's on a bust of Lenin.
Oh.
Used gum. So chewing gum. This stuff, I don't know. Coupland, when he writes, is not very good at characterization, and maybe it doesn't seem to be terribly interested in faces. Again, when he writes, he's more of an ideas guy, I guess. Okay, so this is called Tropical Birds, kind of a junk room or something like that. Maybe some of the stuff has been burned, I'm not sure what exactly has happened. Looks like, yeah. So, word cloud, I think this might be done by maybe someone else. Vielleicht hast du schon gewonnen. So, perhaps you've already won. Maybe you're already a winner. It's kind of like what you might get in the mail or something like that, some sort of flyer. 50, here are 50 books I've read more than once. I guess that was the display. So Andy Warhol. I don't know if he's read the Japanese edition. Maybe. He might have spent some time in Japan. Life edition, Giant Molecules. Life put out some oversized coffee table books a while back. I've got quite a few of that series. Age of Extremes, Eric Hobsbawm. So he talked, or someone else. Oh yeah, the short 20th century, 1914 to 1971. I believe Eric Hobsbawm was a commie. He might be dead now, should have died of embarrassment. But really, the 20th